So how about we talk about the cyber attack on the United States? Fox 5, Washington, D.C. reporting T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, and Verizon customers report widespread cell service outages. So I was sitting in my living room watching, what movie were we watching? Drop Dead Fred.
I saw Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah, Drop Dead
I haven't
Fred.
seen that movie in so long.
Yeah,
So
it just came on. I didn't pick it. It just was like on autoplay or whatever.
It's
on
proof
Hulu.
that we're being hacked.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, right.
Weird.
Whatever. I hear the movie's bad. I haven't seen it in 30 years.
I haven't seen it in that long either.
30 years?
Kind of silly.
I
That's
have
when it
no
came
idea.
out.
Anyway, my
on.
phone wasn't working.
Huh.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, what is this? And then apparently there's this massive cellular outage, and people started tweeting like crazy about it. But it's not just that there's an outage. And we'll read the story to try and get down to the facts. What's really going on? But it's this story. Check this out. This person tweeted. I have no idea who this person is, but they're getting a decent amount of retweets. This popped up on my timeline, and they say, yo, that DDoS attack was absolutely wild. This was from like 15 minutes ago, and that wasn't even the peak. So you can see right now, for those that are listening, I'll just describe it. You can see that all of these, it's a global map.
Can we make it big?
And a whole bunch of lines are shooting out of different cities around the world and just slamming the United States. Now, I got to be honest. This is eye candy. This doesn't really explain anything about what's going on.
Indeed.
Yeah, so these things, whenever these things pop up, everyone's like, whoa, look at this cyber attack. And it's like, well, hold on. It may just be someone isolating general internet traffic. And it makes, from like what the U.S. is receiving or its requests to the U.S. And so people will say, like, it looks like a DDoS attack. It could be. It could be. A lot of people think it is. There was a tweet that went out from Anonymous. They say the U.S. hit by major DDoS attack on June 15th. However, it looks like this is not correct. So my understanding is that what Anonymous tweet, Yornon Central tweeted out, they say the U.S. is currently under a major DDoS attack. For those that aren't familiar, it means distributed denial of service attack. And apparently this map is not current. I don't know. What I can say is T-Mobile went down. And apparently what happened then is because one network went down, it affected every network because they're connected.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly in what way it affected them. I think it may be as simple as like if I tried calling someone as T-Mobile or texting them, it didn't work. And then I would report issues on my end when it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But also when people's phones stopped working, then they would try and go on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And then they would go on websites and be like, yo, Twitter is down. It's not working. It's like they couldn't figure out what was going on. Now, I do find that weird that people were, this is what people are saying. But here's what happened to me. I couldn't make texts or phone calls, but I was getting data. Some things were working perfectly and some things weren't.
Well, were you connected to the Wi-Fi of the house,
No,
though?
no, of course not.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the issue. My phone showed me that cell went down, but the data stayed.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so I couldn't make phone calls, but I could go to websites.
That's weird.
So I wonder if that has something to do with it. I honestly don't know. But let's read this and see exactly what this is all about, and then I will explain to you guys what a DDoS is. They say, according to Down Detector, customers from across the U.S. were reporting problems with their service, with a large number of reports coming from major cities including Tampa, Miami, Atlanta, New York, Chicago, Houston, and L.A. Hundreds of comments on the website said customers could not place or receive calls. Users flooded T-Mobile's Twitter account to report issues with their service. Apparently, someone from T-Mobile said, our engineers are working to resolve a voice and data issue that has been affecting customers around the country. We're sorry for the inconvenience and hope to have this fixed shortly. A spokesperson for Verizon said, Down Detector is falsely reporting Verizon network issues, and the company was aware that another carrier is having issues. But comments from customers on Down Detector suggest that Verizon customers from LA, Denver, Philadelphia, Chicago, and other cities were experiencing issues placing or receiving calls. But the Verizon spokesperson said perceived interruptions to its service could be explained by the issues affecting other carriers. A lot of factors can contribute to a false report on a third-party website, a faulty device, network traffic that slows but doesn't inhibit connections, commercial RF blockers, human error, network issues impacting other carriers, and more. I got to call shenanigans on that right now.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. Nah. If somebody has a Verizon phone and they can't make any phone calls, I'm not buying their excuse. Well, it could be an RF blocker. What? That's illegal. Are you joking? Like someone's running a jammer on all of these people's phones where like China pull up a truck and like turn on the cell phone off button? Get out of here. Something's crazy going on. Sprint, which recently merged with T-Mobile, also appeared to be impacted, according to customers on Down Detector. U.S. Cellular, which apparently still exists.
Wow.
I know that.
I had no idea.
Appeared to be impacted as well. Both companies did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So that's just the story, man. Now, whether or not this is a real DDoS attack, I don't know, but people are pointing out that they're seeing massive outages across the board on Down Detector. You know what I'm kind of leaning towards? I think it might be an attack.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about it. It's like, where are we weakest? It's not our army, it's not our navy, it's our infrastructure, like our cyber infrastructure. Granted, this is like, phone carriers, but maybe this is just the beginning.
Check this out. This tweet here, it's not just phone carriers.
Really?
That's why I'm saying I think this might. So Down Detector is showing that Walmart, Google, Simple Mobile, Fortnite got hit, Cricket got hit, Airbnb, Mint, TrackPhone. Do you know why I think this is more likely to be an attack?
Why?
Some kind of infrastructure. So what some people are saying is,
could be just the beginning.
Well, here's the answer that I've seen from people. They said, if T-Mobile goes down and you're trying to use your phone to go to Facebook and Facebook won't load, you'll incorrectly think it's Facebook.
Right.
Except if your phone doesn't work and you can't get online, you can't go to downdetector.com to tell them this.
Right.
That's a good point.
So some people...
That was my question.
But,
you were like, people were tweeting that it wasn't working. I'm like, how are they tweeting?
Exactly.
How are they tweeting? What,
exactly.
Was it Wi-Fi at their house?
But it could be.
That makes sense.
To be fair, and I still don't buy this excuse, that people... Because Facebook saw a spike too. I don't think Twitter saw spikes. That makes sense, right? It could be that people's phone didn't work, so they went on their computers and then took to Twitter.
Maybe, yeah.
But I don't see Twitter on this list, so maybe Twitter was down. I don't have that pulled up, but everything seems to have some kind of disruption.
I heard Discord had a blip too, although I don't have any proof of it. But people were mentioning it in the comments.
So to explain to all of you what a DDoS attack is, it's very, very simple. All you need to do is watch the episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns goes to the doctor and the doctor has the oversized novelty germs and tries jamming them through the door. And I mean this literally. So he basically explains to Mr. Burns that he's got every disease known to man, and this door is the gateway to his body. And because all the germs are trying to get through at the exact same time, they get stuck. So a DDoS, distributed denial of service, is basically this. So you get a bunch of different computers all at the same time to make a request on one server, and the server overloads and can't handle it all. So it's basically blocking the door, all those germs being smashed in, and then nobody can get in or out. So some people in the past used to liken it to like a digital sit-in, except it's actually a cyber attack, because what you got to realize, it doesn't leave permanent damage. As soon as they stop the requests, the server will clear and then be able to answer, calls. But if a country like China or some adversary starts targeting our, I don't know, say financial infrastructure, targeting
or power infrastructure.
Well, power is a direct physical attack, right? So if they target electricity and shut it down, like that's a physical attack against us. If they jam up phone carriers,
I see.
They slow our economy down.
Right.
And that is a more subversive tactic. So it's actually smarter. I think the reason I lean towards probably some kind of attack, they happen all the time. All right. And
How often did that happen?
I mean, there's DDoS attacks literally every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some maps you can watch online where it's like, here's one, and there's assumed intrusions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're probably getting hit by some kind of attack every single day.
Yeah, and we got to remember, nobody's working still. It's not like everyone's gone back to work.
Back, slowly.
But yeah, 2 million jobs 2.5 million out of the 40 million that have been out of jobs.
Yeah.
It's like people are still like sitting there on their phones all day long, like, hey, what, this blip, like, how long did it last? It's obviously phones are working now.
Yeah. Should be back.
Was it a little bit of a blip? I don't know. Is it a normal thing that happens often that we don't notice because we're busy working?
Not.
Today's okay. So I was finishing up stuff in here at like 4:10, and I looked at my phone and I had 0 reception.
So this is hours.
Yeah, it was hours and hours.
It was like 4 hours.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So look, this feels like a test.
I'd not seen that yet.
Feels like stage 1. Let's see how much we can push.
No, I think that if this was an attack, it was a mistake. It was an accident. So if they're actually going to try to attack us, they don't want us to notice. Think about all of the business phone calls that didn't go through because of this shutdown.
Yeah, good point.
Now imagine if they could shut us down without us realizing we're being jammed up. They could slow the economy down, allowing them to grow faster than us, build faster than us, and that's it's basically an economic race. We're trying to expand faster than they are. Once we realize we're under attack, we show up our defenses, and then we take away their ability to hurt us. or they have to try and invest in new ways to come after us.
I think we should do that anyway.
No, definitely.
Yeah, for
dude.
sure.
What are we
But-
waiting for?
This is the smartest thing that whoever it may be, I think everyone's going to lean towards China.
Yeah.
So would be to
I've seen like 50 China comments.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
totally.
Sure.
Of
For
course.
sure. Yeah.
China.
hey man, they got 1.3 billion people. We got 300 million people. They got a billion more people than we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not confident, bro. I think Thucydides' trap. I mean, we've talked about Thucydides' trap before. For those that aren't familiar, it basically means that in the past 500 years, there have been 16 times when a dominant power was surpassed by a rising power. In 12 of those 16 times, war broke out. So a lot of people are saying we have a greater than chance probability that there will be a war between the US and China. I am not confident that we will come out on the right side of that one, that we will survive it. I don't think so.
With the war with China, you mean?
Yeah. And I think it might not, I think it might just be a complete collapse on the US's end. What people got to realize, that they haven't been following this stuff. China's been getting its tendrils everywhere and everything, in Australia, in Africa, in South America. They were proposing building a Nicaraguan canal,
Right.
to bypass the Panama Canal. Think about how crazy that is. The Panama Canal is a crazy project to bridge the oceans to get you through, through Panama.
Yep.
Nicaragua is way more landmass. And that China actually was like, we'll do it. We'll get people to dig a canal through it. And eventually it fell through.
Right.
But they're doing tons of stuff in tons of countries. Mike Pompeo said, we've already been infiltrated across the board. He said, he gave a speech where he said to all the governors, it's affected you already from every level of government. We've been infiltrated. If that's the case, how do we survive this?
This is a tweet from Donovan Hale. Someone tweeted on my page. Excuse me, and it fits perfect into this. I'm just going to read it here. It says, "Hi Adam, I'm a listener and a fan from South Africa. I'm terribly concerned that you Americans don't seem to realize that you're the only ones preventing the CCP from taking over the entire planet. I don't want to be droughted into a war against the country I wish to move to." So I guess he wants to move to America. "So please do whatever is possible to stop these hippies in Seattle. You have no idea how vulnerable you guys look right now." So obviously it's more than just this Chaz thing. And it isn't just America that's crumbling. We got Britain that's fighting each other. France,
Oh, man, nuts.
France, there's a war going on right now. It's like,
Yep.
it's not just us. And then you probably think, what's going on in China? They locked everyone in. They've got everyone in a stranglehold. And now here we're fighting each other. And it's like, this is exactly where they want us.
Look at what was going on in the United States for the past several decades, with our politicians selling out to China at every opportunity.
With
Our university professors
Yep.
taking money and then lying about it and getting arrested for it.
Yeah, they just found 14 more,
It's
2 days ago
insane,
or something.
Right. So
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know,
every day.
there are these professors that are getting paid by China, working at our universities for what is it called, like 1,000 talents program or something?
No, I'm not
That
really.
sounds right.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Then they get grant money from the U.S. So the U.S. gives them money and says, do research. Then they go to China, and China's like, we'll give you some money too. Why?
We'll give you more money.
But so some people argue it's espionage,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not charged. They're not being charged with that. They're being charged with fraud because they're lying to the U.S. government. I have one idea, and it's from my experience working at one of these lefty, ultra woke news outlets.
Okay.
These companies don't force you to write woke trash. They hire people who they expect to write woke trash and pay them a ton of money.
Well, it's more correctly write stuff that's going to get clicks, which
Right.
happens to be woke trash because you got people on both sides. Like, I've seen people posting, retweeting and posting stuff that's hilarious and cringy. They're like, look how bad this is. Look how cringy this is. And it's getting retweets and sending it around
So
from both sides.
Here's my point. My point is, no one is forcing these people at Vox or BuzzFeed to write this garbage.
Okay.
They just don't hire the people who would write real journalism. They hire the people who write garbage.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the reason these professors are getting paid by China is simply because they have subversive or ridiculous ideas. So you think about it this way. Let's say you have a really, really good professor, is really smart.
Okay.
Teaches all these young people how to be strong and good citizens to help save the world. But they don't make a lot of money. So
No,
what China
they don't.
does is they find the really, really bad professors and make sure they live like kings so that they're empowered to keep doing what they do, an awful job. Now, I'm not saying I know anything about these professors. I don't know if they're doing an awful job, but they're certainly lying about it.
Yeah.
But think about it this way. If you have 10 professors, 5 are really good and 5 are really bad, and you make sure, like, they're all underpaid, then the 5 really bad ones you secretly pay so they have good health care, they have really comfortable houses and great food, they will thrive, and their bad job will show in the kids they teach.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the good professors are like, I lost my apartment, man. I've got to go somewhere else. I got to move, or I can't do extra activities with the kids because, you know, I need to moonlight another job or something.
And then you got half of those who are just getting canceled for like trying to stand up for freedom of speech and just speak their minds.
Now everybody's getting canceled, man.
Everybody.
So, you know, a lot of people have been sending that Yuri Bezmenov, is that it? The KGB guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, from 1984.
And, I mean, yeah, it's interesting stuff. It
not
looks like
the book, the actual year.
Yeah.
Right.
Just letting everyone know.
It definitely seems like some seeds potentially were planted a long time ago, and they've started to take hold, and there's nothing we can do about it. Literally nothing. By the time you realize that your country has been subverted, you have too many people who believe in the fairy tale. And what can you do about it? Especially a constitutional republic like ours. Think about all of these people. Let's say it turns out we actually do discover that in the 1970s or whatever, Russia, the USSR, started funding subversive programs to spread insane ideas that they knew would take root in the next generation.
Okay.
You have an entire generation of people whose worldview is built on this insanity. And even if we knew it was true, they would say, I don't care. I believe it's true. You can't change them. And so now the United States is on the verge of fighting itself. That's one way to get rid of a superpower. Hey, you want to avoid world war? Maybe this is why so many politicians over the past several decades sold us out to China. They were like, you know, it's easier to just lay down and take the cash. Otherwise, war would suck, right? We might die. It makes me wonder about the past several decades. All of our jobs moving to China. The TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Trump crushed it.
Yep.
Would have allowed companies to move freely to China and send all their products right back to us, empowering them to control our medicine, all of our manufacturing, basically.
No, it empowered.
Right, it did.
Right.
Or the TPP.
Right, they have all our medicine.
The TPP would have been tenfold worse.
Yeah.
And it was crushed by Trump. Bernie wanted to crush it too. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify. And we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.